to paint on, and we will make the pattern now. Alright, I am using heavy duty template plastic, and I got this from the quilting area in Joann's, and this is what we're going to be using for making our template. I want to make sure that the plastic is longer than the fabric, and it is. So now I'm going to take the plastic, and it is about 18 inches long. So I'm going to put a mark here at 9 inches. So that's our halfway mark. Alright, now that we have our pattern made out of the plastic that we got from Joann's, this is going to be considered our permanent pattern piece that we'll use over and over and over again. I tried to put this on top of the fabric and actually painting over it. It didn't turn out that great. There was some blobs that ended up going underneath like the edges here and making it not pretty. So this did work, however, better than cardstock. But I came up with a solution. We're going to use freezer paper, and it has a plastic coating. And what you do is you put the plastic coating on top of the fabric, and you have your pattern, so here, and you trace it onto the paper side, cut that out, and then you iron it to the fabric, and then that, and it sticks to the fabric, but you can pull it off later. It's not like permanent or anything. But that way it makes sure that there's no paint getting underneath those edges, and so you have a perfect seamless, or like perfect chevron pattern. Okay, for making the pattern on top of the paper here, I'm just going to be using Sharpie so you can see it, but you can use pencil, marker, whatever you want to do. And this is just wonderful having this pattern here because it's already made and you don't have to go through that tedious process ever again to make this pattern for you. Okay, and again, I do like to color this in to let me know which ones I'm cutting out and which ones I'm not cutting out. And I like to keep my fingers down on each section that I'm doing as I'm tracing over this, so there's no mistakes. You can cut this out with scissors or an X-Acto knife. I personally feel that the X-Acto knife is better, but it's going to take you longer. So it's up to you. And then my personal preference is to have 4 layers of chevron, because I did 5 last night, and it just looks like too much. But that's up to you, and it's always nice to have that extra sheet here, or that extra pattern for you. This is much quicker than having to make this over and over again. Alright, now that that's finished, you'll cut it out. You can either leave this on top and cut it out with an X-Acto knife. That way you don't have any cut edges that you have to tape over with Scotch tape. Or you can cut it out with scissors. I'm going to try my hand at the X-Acto knife, and even though that's going to take a little bit longer, but I feel like that's going to produce more proficient results because I don't want to worry about having any paint going underneath the edge of that cut piece. Alright, now that you have the pattern cut out, you're going to want to place the shiny side down onto the fabric with the wax coating, and place it onto your fabric. It's okay that there's some extra edge here and it's not like, you know, perfect. And then make sure that you line it up with your fabric where you want it. I want mine down a little bit more. Okay, so I actually have the iron on medium heat, and I'm just going over this very slowly. Okay, so I went and got some more paint and fabric medium. Alright, now you're going to start painting. If you see any edges that come up, you'll want to make sure but you hold them on, or hold them down. That way paint doesn't get underneath them. And once you're done painting, you're gonna just peel it off carefully away from the fabric. After you painted with fabric paint, you're gonna want to let it sit for 24 to 48 hours. And then I'm gonna put a piece of muslin over here as my protection from my heater, or from my iron. And then I'm just gonna iron across. And this is gonna set the paint. Voila!